So you want to buy a used car but you don't know exactly what to look at. Watch this video till the end to find out. Paint and scratches. Don't look at the car when it's night or if it's dark outside. It might hide minor scratches or repainted elements and you won't be able to see them. If you will find repainted elements, it could indicate that the car has been involved in a crash, and I wouldn't recommend you to buy one. A car involved in an accident can have the effects of the accident hidden, but it won't be the same car again, so avoid buying one. I don't know too much about you guys in the US, but here in Europe, in Romania, me as a MOT tester, the first thing that I need to inspect on a car when it comes to MOT test, I have to check the VIN number, the engine code and the documents. And that's because there are lots of stolen cars in Europe. If I see weld signs around the VIN on the chassis, it might indicate that it has been replaced or the car has been stolen. So you should check the VIN and the engine code. This is optional for the engine code if you want to see if the engine has been replaced or not. But the most important thing, check the VIN, make sure that it doesn't have any weld signs around it. And that's what I do in Europe as a MOT inspector. I have to check the VIN if it's in good condition and if it's totally visible. Do some research. Now, before you decide to purchase a car, a vehicle, a specific engine, a specific transmission, make sure that you first Google, find some information, and the best thing you should do is to go on a car forum. You will find there a lot of car maniacs and enthusiasts about the model that you want to purchase, and you can kindly ask them, or you can look for data which indicate if the car or the engine is great, or at least you should be aware of the most frequent faults and problems of that car and of that engine and of that transmission. So do some research before you even decide to purchase a car. Is it good? Is it bad? What you should be aware of. Leaks. Now, before you decide to purchase a used car, make sure that you go to a car workshop, a car service, and check for any kind of leaks. These may include antifreeze, oil, AC, brake fluid, power steering fluid, any kind of leaks. If you will see serious oil leaks, for example, it may indicate that the car has serious mileage and you might need to invest some money in the engine to run properly. Also, make sure to check the transmission fluid, whether it's a manual or an automatic transmission. Keys. Now, this isn't that important, but if you want to purchase a car which is kind of cheap, let's say $2,000-$3,000, make sure that the owners give you both keys. Every car comes with 2 original keys straight out of factory, and if you want the second key, let's say the owner gives you 1 key and you want to make a copy, the second key, you will need to pay around $250, which is pretty expensive. That's the bulk price for any kind of key from any car, from any brand. And if you want to purchase a cheap car, an inexpensive car, $250 is pretty much to pay for a key. Now this one is really important. Make sure to check the full service history. In fact, I wouldn't even touch a car if I don't have a full service history. It's true that in some cases it can be falsified, it can be false, it can have a lot of lies in a full service history, but most of the times it indicates when and where the car was serviced. And you can clearly see when the previous owner changed the oil, other parts, filters, etc. Everything has to be written there. In the full service history, you could see everything. So make sure to check it and take a closer look to everything that the previous owner changed, and make sure it's fine. If the car doesn't have a full service history, at least ask for a smaller price of the vehicle. If you want to purchase a $1,000, $2,000 car, you don't really need the full service history, but if you want to purchase a $10,000 and $20,000 car, you should have a full service history of that car. This one isn't that important, but for me personally, it is. The number of owners. If the car has 7 previous owners in the past 2 years, it may indicate that it has a hidden flaw, a flaw that nobody wants to tell you about. A changed engine, a broken chassis, a broken transmission, something has to be wrong there. When I bought my Audi A3 in 2013, I paid 6.5k euros and it had 1 owner, 1 previous owner, full service history, and the car worked just fine. It had 160,000 kilometers on board and I own it even today without any major problems. Now here's a professional power tip. Run a full MOT test before purchasing a used car. I'm telling you, as a MOT tester, I see a lot of things after I run a full emissions test, especially on gasoline engines. You can see if the engine works fine, if the emissions are great, if the catalyst is in perfect condition. If combustion is perfect, then the car shouldn't fail the emissions test. So if you want to purchase a used car and it fails the emission test and the full MOT test, it means that it has serious problems. And if a car fails the MOT test, it means that you have to invest, to put out cash to make the car run properly until the next inspection. And I think this is available for any kind of country. In every country there has to be a kind of MOT test. So before you purchase the car, simply run an MOT test. It's just 20, 30, 40 bucks. So it isn't a fortune to run one. Run a full OBD diagnosis. Run a complete scan. In my opinion, the most important things you have to check, you should check the airbags if they are in good condition, if you have any faults on the brake system, on the power steering system, on the transmission, especially if it's an automatic, and on the engine. If you don't have any fault codes at all, it's perfect. Now, if you do have a few fault codes, some of them are really important. For instance, if you have fault codes on the particulate filter on a DPF, that's bad. If you have fault codes on the turbocharger, that's bad. If you have fault codes on the injectors, that's really bad. Some fault codes aren't a big deal. They can be easily deleted and you can easily fix a problem. But in some cases, a full diagnosis will tell you if the car suffers from anything really, really bad. So simply run a full diagnosis before you purchase a used car. Now, make sure that everything works perfectly. This includes keys, lights, brakes, transmission. You have everything in perfect condition. Everything works just fine. If you see anything that doesn't work properly, simply ask the previous owner to cut the price a little bit so you could fix it. Go to a car workshop and have everything checked. A mechanical check, bushings, links, tires, coolant level, engine oil level, transmission fluid level, brake fluid quality. You can check the brake fluid quality, voltage of the alternator. You could check the battery also if it's in good condition. There are special testers which tell you if the battery is in good condition or not, if you have to replace it or not. You can also check if the alternator charges between 13.8 and 14.6 volts. If it has around 14.3, 14.4, it's in perfect condition. So go to a workshop and have everything checked before you purchase a used car. And number 12, the most important of all and the most obvious of all, test drive the car. Run it through corners, accelerate hard, push it up to red line, allow the engine to heat up, drive it for at least 20-30 kilometers, and just after that decide if you have to purchase the car or not. If you find something that isn't right, if you hear any kind of noises, it can be a bushing, a link, a bearing, something might be wrong if you hear any strange noises. So again, if you hear any strange noises, go again to the car workshop to see if anything is wrong. So let me know in the comment section below if I missed anything, if you have anything else to add or any questions, be free to leave them down below. Subscribe if you haven't already for more car videos, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.